Report Halloweenie Scary-a-thon episode.
Hello, my kitties, and welcome to CSN Report, episode of Halloweenie Scary-a-thon. Our two hosts, Nick and Christian, will be joined by two Halloweenies. Hopefully they can survive the night better than Nick's date life. His Saturday nights is just hit with a bottle of lube and cucumber, and it's not for eating. Now, let me present your hosts, Christian and Nick. Yeah, thank you very much for that, kind sir. What the fuck was that? So, how you doing, kind sir Nick?
I'm doing okay.
Well, looks like again just you and me. But look, we have two trick-or-treaters. Ain't that so nice for us?
Yes,
Now we're gonna get in some candy. And look, one of them dressed up as Saul, and one of them dressed up as Mike. Ain't that so?
Candy, man. Where is our candy?
Wait, Nick. I realized something. They're also not Mike. Oh shit! Saul's here! Hooray! Saul has come back from the promised land!
I've been stuck in purgatory, dude. I was stuck in purgatory.
You slept with some of those transvestites you were leading, didn't you?
Okay. Just to make the story short enough as I can, I was pretty much helping out, let's see, our friend Omar. You know how Omar is. Okay, he's that special type of person that he needs help with just to hook up. Technically, I end up enjoying part of the ride with him because of him crashing and burning. And yet, yes, we all went to Vegas. Thing is, he decided to marry a man. I did not understand why, but yeah, he decided to come out of the
Why were those pictures of you kissing the transvestite or the man, as we were referring to?
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna bury that because, see, really, to be honest, that was a one-time thing. I had too many drinks, and also I was winning the fucking jackpot at most of these roulettes.
Really? And why was there like a preacher-like person who seemed like he was marrying
That was my
you?
That was my cousin.
Yeah, he
Yes.
just dresses up as a preacher and wanders around.
Yes, that was my cousin.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, he shows up to a wedding dressed as a preacher. Why is he at Omar's wedding dressed as a preacher if he's your cousin? Because you're on +1? What's going on?
Because my cousin was the one marrying Omar.
Then why don't you say he dresses as a priest instead of actually being?
Because he was the one conducting his own wedding.
Okay, so you're just saying like Omar's a moron, hires your cousin who is not really a priest, and is technically not married to a man. You guys just sort of had a drunken binge that seemed to last a couple days, and you both sort of kissed and or married a woman /
Watch Hangover 4. It's in theaters right now.
So,
Kids these days.
So yeah, well, I think we're up to speed of how Saul has been doing. So, just real quick, what's everybody been into these days?
I had a picnic with Slenderman down at the forest.
Oh, well, that's cool. Then you get those picnic baskets.
So, odd reason is he took me to his cave and yet he showed me a bear cub. I forgot what his name was.
Slenderman has a bear.
Yeah, he has a bear cub with him.
And he lives in a cave.
Yes. And he likes picnic baskets.
Is it his cave or is it the bear's cave? And just the bear just scared of Slenderman?
He took me to his cave. He has picnic baskets on his storage right over there, on his left side of the cave. And he has this bear cub right next to him with a fucking necktie also. I don't know what the
bear his son.
I don't know. He was wearing a top hat for some reason.
Okay.
So yeah. So well, anything else you've been into, Saul?
Let's see. Besides real life, I actually got a job now. Woo! So yeah, Sorry for the long hiatus for all you people, even though you guys don't even know me that well. But yeah.
Hey, everybody knows you well now, Saul. You've been traveling with transvestites. You date a hooker.
Well, the sodomites and the transvesticles.
Hey, at least I'm able to pull out in time. Yes.
Anyhow. But, Christian, what you been up to?
You know what? I'm just going to say it real quick because most of the thing I do remember, most of the thing I have not. Okay, for movies, I watched Cameo, which is just okay-ish as best. I don't really like it. The Grand Bros Hotel, which actually is surprising, not surprising, but it's really, really, really good. And it's a $1 Million Arm, which is a pretty good movie. Not something I recommend to watch whenever. Just if nothing else to watch, and that's good. I finished Pokemon Heart Gold. Huzzah! I finally beat it. I finally went into Kondo, whatever bullshit.
Kanto.
There we go, Kanto. And right now I'm reading I was reading Starman, but since now it's October, been reading some good old Halloweenie classics like Uzumaki, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I was reading Starman, James Robinson run, and so far I'm actually really enjoying it. It's really good. The best way I can describe it is like it's a superhero story without being a superhero story, with a person grudgingly doing his best not to be a superhero. Not to be, taking his father mental. And the best way I could explain it, hadn't I been watching any television shows, like the last thing I saw was Mythbusters, but now, and Chopits. Mythbusters is always awesome. And Chopits is a pretty good anime. I will not spoil it because Nick had not seen it. And other than that, that's about it, what I've been doing.
Okay, well, as far as what I've been doing lately, I've actually been hanging out with the boogeyman late at night. Got a little extra job, just chill out with the boogeyman, drink a couple beers. Not so bad.
Is his name Michael Myers?
No.
So he doesn't have the shirt like this.
His name's Ted, but...
That sounds like a boogeyman name. My name's Ted. I will kill you.
You know what the funny thing is?
Don't ask me.
You know what the funny thing is about that? Let's see, Ted is actually my neighbor. Have you been hanging out with my neighbor before?
Is your neighbor a large, shirtless man?
Yeah, kind of weird looking.
Kind of looks like sort of like a redneck aborted child that grew up to be a man.
You know what? Let's see. If you're bringing it up that far into it, yeah, I kind of do believe there was some incest involved in the family line. Yeah.
Well, that would explain all the blisters on his face. Anyhow, but as far as entertainment that I've been gonna recently, actually saw The Giver, the film adaptation of the book that I really liked. Now, the thing is, I only read like halfway through the book, and it was a library book, had to return it. Been meaning to get it again and finish it off, but I really liked the book, and I thought it was really awesome. I was happy to see it when it was going to be made into a movie. And honestly, it was okay. I felt that the film, it sort of overplayed the semi-dystopia future that the movie set in. The way it is in the book, it plays it more as a society did this for a reason, and they really have survived and not necessarily thrived, but gotten by because of it. And this actually, the movie just sort of paints it as just a bunch of people oppressing them and taking away their humanity, and overstretches that. In the book, it really was a balance. And the characters, I really like the characters and the actors. They all did fairly well. But the one thing that I love most of all was the guy that played the Giver himself, Jeff Bridges. I mean, it could have gone a little sour, but he just is a total badass at it. He's at his best in this, and he just makes the film. It just, every scene he's in is just fun to watch him. Now, I know that The Giver was part of a 3-book series, and honestly, to me, it seemed like the movie was condensed down for most of it. So I'm not sure if they condensed all 3 books into just the one movie. I have to finish the others off. But overall, it was pretty fun. It was really good. I enjoyed it. It wasn't great, fantastic, but it was good. I also just finally finished watching the series Chuck, which was essentially a series about a tech geek that works at a store called the Buy More, which is basically just a cheesy mock-up of Best Buy, and he downloads the supercomputer into his brain and then just goes on through the entire series. He falls in love with a beautiful spy agent. It's got Adam Baldwin plays an awesome badass spy character who's really tough and has a really interesting developmental arc during the course of the series. The only thing is, it has its good moments and the bad moments. The first 3 seasons were just absolutely excellent. But then that 4th season kicks in, and oh my god, does it get awful really quick. It gets really stupid. They end the last season with some really interesting plot development points as far as the storyline. But these writers, they have this interesting habit of they'll do something that changes the entire story of concept structure, so everything has to be changed, but then they just shortchange it and go back to everything being how it was before. And on top of that, it's the product placement. Oh my fucking god.
You were telling me this on the phone, and
the Subway product placement. I mean, it might have been more subtle in the earlier seasons, but they get all out. Like, they're constantly just pandering Subway.
That kind of reminds me of another series right there. You know, let's see, like, Video Game High School. Remember, product placement of all Monster series right there. Monster energy drinks. All over the place.
Hey, Saul.
No, this is worse, because they not only...
I'm just saying, think of the relevance right there. Okay, you got the product placement of Subway all over the place on your series.
Oh no, it's not just
the same thing with that one.
It's not just placed in there. They literally make it part of the story. Like they bribe
I really
characters.
want something really fresh to eat. I should maybe go to the sub. Maybe on my way out.
No, it's not even that subtle. I got me some good Subway here. I'm going to tear into this so-and-so sandwich with this juicy, delicious blah, 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 blah. And then they go into, I'm on the Fresh Fit menu right now.
Okay, please tell me this series end up having to see the $5 song in it. Because if it did, it would have been the greatest. I would definitely watch that show. Just because it has that segment.
It honestly would have been a little more enjoyable and understandable, but no, it's just like, it's miserable with it. And it just gets worse as the series goes on. But the 4th season, it does make it up, and it does really get a lot better towards the end of it. And then they start off the 4th season, and then it's like a replay, except it's not quite as bad, and it gets better pretty quickly. It's like they were constantly checking to see what the people liked in the series. But overall, I liked the series, and it had a really interesting ending that I'm not going to spoil it, but it didn't just go to the automatic happy ending like it could have. It just leaves, it's almost like a little bit of a cliffhanger. Which I thought it was just so out of character for the series. I thought, you know what? It's refreshing to have something that's just a little more down to earth and realistic. So I was happy with that. It was a good series. Most of the actors did really well in it, and it was just plain fun.
Alrighty, Mike, have you been up to anything? I've been into anything?
Well, I mean, in real life, growing up with Saul, in the news there was this girl who apparently reading the works of Slender Man pretty much doused some clothes in gasoline and burned them.
I read that, and you put me say like, Christian, why? Because like somehow I'm involved with all this Slender Man
Well,
thing.
you do maintain the Slender Man law, so
you do maintain that, so
yes.
I mean, especially see with the 2 girls who murdered.
Just because I review Slender laws,
well, they
and
killed
because
they stabbed another guy, of course.
No.
But they were doing it for the sake of being part of Slender Man's house.
Yeah, well, if you had been in the last episode, then you would know we actually discussed that at pretty thorough length, just how fucking stupid it was.
I made some very social arguments about
it's not my fault. Okay. So it's not his fault for replacing me. I did have fun with the Slender Man.
No, I know, we understand. But, no,
he touched me in bad places.
Because people liked me. I was just a replacement? No.
Dude, you replaced me. That's not fair.
Hey, it's not my fault, alright? Temptations of a cross-dresser is a strong thing. They look pretty.
Touche. I gotta admit, I saw the photos, like, I understand where you could go with that. Like, that was a very decked out, like some serious plastic surgery in that. And then finish the job, clearly.
Yeah, so it was done in Photoshop.
Photoshop's drunken
Mexican,
like Las Vegas pictures. They're
like this.
They're like Polaroids that nobody wants to exist. Okay, whatever. Getting back to my point, girl that burned down her house. Okay, this is basically the thing. It was put out by one of the cities in Florida. Of course, we all live in Florida.
Finally. It's not right if it isn't in Florida.
You know, the funny thing is to see, like, why isn't it in Florida?
Because apparently we all just smoke meth and just have and eat fucking.
I make the same argument I always make.
No.
We are 5 times the size of New York. That's 5 times as much crazy. You should be happy we haven't destroyed the world yet.
I'm just happy. Let's see, we don't have these crazy. I'm surprised to see like Jersey doesn't have any of these crazy stories. That's
Well, we also have the open record system, so anything that the police file, immediately the news media has. New York doesn't have that shit.
I'm somehow not really relief because it became no man's land like in DC.
What?
No man's land, Batman.
Can I say conspiracy for Big Brother? Can I just say that?
So that's it.
A continuation of the story. It was put out by one of the police stations in Florida, and it's what happens when something bad happens, and then the news media puts something out to villainize something else. Yeah, the girl liked Slender Man. What led up to this? She had a really bad fight with her mother. And then she soaked some rags and things, burned her garage on, packed a bag full of stuff, and went to go stay inside a bathroom at a park. Which, yeah, that's a little out there. That's a little bit crazy.
A little out there.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, it's Florida. All right. Reality's relative. I'll keep going.
No. I was gonna say, let's see, like, by out there, you mean see what type of scale you're talking about?
Yeah, it's basically a parent and child argument pushed to its extreme level. Yeah,
those types.
Yeah, it's poor thinking on the child in that doesn't consider the future, thinks of self, and basically reacts to the situation, and then afterwards is dealing with the consequences.
It was from a girl in Boca, wasn't it?
No, it's some Palm place.
West Palm Beach?
No,
it's not around
Palm City. It's probably Palm City.
Yeah, I think it was Palm City. I don't know. We'd have to check it out, but anyways,
we need more info on this one.
I can't help but notice a little trend here. Now, this is the 3rd time we've had someone paying tribute with violence to Slender Man. Each time it was a girl, every single participant, like,
yeah, I think
are women getting a different message out of Slender Man than we are?
Technically, so we should ask Christian because he's the one who's doing all these things.
No, goddammit, I am not the fucking priority of this.
You are the priority.
No, I am not. I said that. I just made a fucking display about this. That like, I am not the person in judge. I'm not the keep holder. I am not the gatekeeper. This shall not pass. Goddammit.
Yeah, but within this case, it basically is blaming one person's action based on media. That's outside of...
The white girl was crazy. That is it. There is no need to go into this. We all know these white girls are crazy.
Crazy? I think. Yeah.
Crazy. Goddamn. That's how crazy is. She's crazy.
Damn it. Alright, there is a part of me in this story in that I actually backtracked this to the actual release from the police station, which I looked through, and basically villainized them on Twitter for being just dicks, for jumping from one thing to the other. And then I sort of backtracked the girl to her Facebook page, and she is a person that genuinely loves Slender Man.
And then you go into me and go like, Christian, I know this is all your fault. I know this is all you're doing.
I did something before that. It was basically I sent her a message that, I'm sorry about the difficulties and struggles that you're going to be going through now. She won't get that because this is Florida, and we try everybody, including children, that commits a serious crime as an adult. So her life is fucked forever.
Oh no! What a loss!
It's a 16.
Society will so suffer.
It's a 16-year-old girl that will spend the rest of her life in jail. I mean, there's a little bit of empathy.
She won't spend the rest of her life in jail. She'll spend a few years in jail at the most. I mean, unless someone's dead, arson's. They're not gonna put her away forever. Well, she's gonna have a damn hell of a time.
Put some Robitussin on those burns. They'll be fine.
No, she's gonna be tried for attempted murder because her
It works.
little sister was in the house, so she's getting charged with attempted murder. Yeah.
Good.
Mike, I'm sorry. Like, as much you want to be like, I'm gonna feel don't feel sympathy for her. She did this shit on purpose. I'm sorry. Like,
yeah, like she literally tried to kill her family. Like, okay, that bit of information just changed the subject. She tried to kill her family by setting them on fire. Okay.
Because of
I
an
don't
argument.
give a shit. Her life should be ruined.
Over an argument. Let's think about that. Over an
Do
argument.
you want a person like that walking around in society without shackles?
Clearly,
my
I
wife.
do.
She'll be my
Clearly, I
wife.
do. Clearly, if anything, I want more people like that in the world.
Then we call it Florida. Oh wait, we already did that.
Well,
Yeah, this is Florida. We don't necessarily need more people like that.
Technically, welcome to
we
Florida.
will because
Outsource them to Cuba.
we will because this is where New York deposits the crazy people. So
Okay.
No, I just
Okay, all right. So yeah, Slenderman girl, that's done. Next thing, the Vicar of Baghdad. He came to Washington. For those who don't know,
Wait. What's going on here?
Okay, the Vicar of Baghdad is a
No. I mean, like with all the news stories.
I have a life outside of entertainment. I'm sorry, sir. I exist within the real world, and the troubles and the struggles of the real world are interesting to me. That's why I get to complain when people write crappy books about how hard and difficult their life is, because I'm like there to say, no, it isn't. You're a shitty, whiny person, and I hate you. I've had this argument the last couple of days with authors who have written basically whining novels and are being rewarded for whining novels. And this is why it's relevant, because people actually do good things and bad things in the world, and I think those things are interesting. That's why I care about news reports. That's why I care about people in the world, because my world is the world. It's also a fictional place inside my head that I like to retreat to.
Damn, what type of shrooms are you taking? I want some of that.
That's how I am, man.
Well,
That's how I am.
Mike,
My crack is imagination.
as much as this is all a very interesting. I'm not trying to like. But we all need to move along over here.
Okay, let me just put this. In short, the Vicar of Baghdad, he's a guy, he lives in Baghdad. He's 5 miles away from ISIS. Last time I checked, he might be dead by
Wait,
now.
ISIS ain't like Archer and like everybody else is like.
No, ISIL, the greatest threat that we face now. Yeah.
When I see ISIS, I think of Archer automatically because that's what they did.
If you're following Archer, ISIS has dissolved, and now they sell drugs.
I don't. Well, I mean,
That's not a spoiler.
Okay.
Literally, that isn't.
I heard about that. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Vicar of Baghdad could be dead now.
Okay.
Great guy. He's like Gandhi.
So that's about it.
I've also been watching the anime Fairy Tail. I've watched all the episodes that are dubbed. I've also been watching China, Illinois. I'm all caught up to season 2. You may like it, you may not like it. I like the transition from YouTube, where they were just sort of non-moving characters, to where they went to Adult Swim, where they are moving characters. I genuinely love American animation. I think we should have more of that.
I would say.
And I'm done.
I would say I actually do enjoy China, Illinois, just because Hulk Hogan in it and he's like a dean.
I didn't realize that till recently, and it was just like the dean was talking a whole lot, and I'm like, oh shit, it's Hulk Hogan, and I'm like, I don't like Hulk Hogan, but I like the show.
I fucking love Hulk Hogan in the whole show. It's like Hulk Hogan on crack.
No, he's also in the game that I'm playing. Crap, what is it? Saints Row 3. He's the voice. He's in Saints Row 3 and 4, and I don't like him. But he's in these great things, and I'm just like, why are we giving him work?
Well, why? It's that kind of whole thing of like, what we're giving Adam West more work, or
Because Adam West was Batman, and goddammit, he has not fucked that up.
And also, he's the mayor of.
He hasn't said bad things about gay people. He hasn't threatened anyone. He's just really nice. He deserves his star on the Hollywood Walk. He's a nice guy. That's why we give him shit. We like him.
He's an Oscar. That's what he needs.
His acting is
That's
not
never
great.
gonna
His acting
happen.
is not that great.
so. Yeah, is that it, Mike?
Yeah, John, Illinois, Fairy Tale. Gravity Falls, I should mention. Which me and we have a thing here. We have a thing where I say Gravity Falls, which is a Disney show, which is basically a show that tries to take the thunder from Adventure Time, and I feel it succeeds. In my opinion, is better than Adventure Time.
See, when you say that,
I understand the insanity I am saying, but you really have to see it.
but see, when you say that, like, and I know you quite well. It sounds like you're fucking with me.
Yeah, I don't give a good review very easily. It does not happen. I have bad things to say about a lot of things.
It's everything.
Gravity Falls, though, it hits it.
It's like it
enough.
understands you.
It doesn't understand you, but it hits that like cute.
No. Not just the audience. I meant you yourself. It understands you.
Honestly, Gravity Falls is loved by a lot of people, not just me. I've gone to conventions where people have dressed up as the characters. People like it.
And Mike, as much as you say that, it's one of the things like I don't know how best to explain it, but
Yeah, I know Disney is a pain in the ass, and you don't want to deal with them, and they are fucking the show over by having these gaps where you have to wait a really long time.
ain't that what every cartoon show does? Like you gotta wait for.
Not all of them. I mean, Disney just does it. They're doing it now with the Clone Wars series, where they're just like, we'll give you a taste, but then you have to wait 2 months.
They're on
to get
Netflix.
the whole thing. No, the new one.
No,
next.
it's the Rebels.
Yeah, the
Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah,
Star Wars Rebels. Yeah, they're giving you a taste, and then you have to wait 2 months. It's annoying. It's very annoying, and I admit that that's not the show's fault, though. Disney just produces it and shows it.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me to see of the those 15-minute short episodes of Star Wars.
Yeah, we were
Cartoon
talking.
Network.
Me and Mike and Nick were all talking about that last night.
Genndy Taranovic. I'm a huge fan of Genndy Taranovic. He does great work.
He's the same guy who did Samurai Jack.
Yeah, and he does Hotel Transylvania, which you two have not seen.
I've been meaning to watch that. Like,
You're attributing it to an Adam Sandler film, which of course.
no, I'm not. He is.
I am. I completely am.
Okay, which I understand if you're attributing it to that, not wanting to see it, but it's a Genndy Taranovic film, which is much better. It's a very good thing. That's a high class of animator. You should see it. It's good.
He's there.
It's like, nah.
Visually describing what just happened. See the look on Nick's face. Was pretty much to see turn slightly to the right and be like, nah, screw you. Get that thing away from me.
Alright.
You know what? Mike, because of your recommendation, and 9 times out of 10, I'll trust, even though like sometimes where you say some things or like I completely disagree with you, or some things where I respect your opinion. If you say Gravity Falls is the greatest thing compared to Adventure Time,
I don't believe it's the greatest thing. I think it is something that's competing with Adventure Time and succeeds in exceeding Adventure Time.
and so you like I said, stuff like that. It just like I said, it's on Disney. The old saying goes, never judge a book by its cover. And I said, what? I'll give it a chance. I'll watch a couple episodes if need be.
Okay, I mean, alright, fine. If you want me to be critical of it, animators have been critical of Gravity Falls in that there's not a lot of movement. It's a story-driven like cartoon where it's about the writing, and so the animation it's lacking to an animator's perspective, to a public view's perspective. You're barely going to notice that. So it has faced criticism. It's not harsh criticism. It's something that's good. People like it, and they're very scrutiny. There's a lot of scrutiny for it.
Okay, well, when you say it's good and you say it's better than Adventure Time, I'll check it out. Whenever I can get to it, like that's when I will.
Also, I have to add this. Because Disney is being villainized here, there are 2 shows that I like, which is Gravity Falls on Disney, and then there is Wonder Over Yonder, which is another animated show. It's aimed at sort of children and preteens. The color and the style of the animation and even some of the writing and music is very good. And if you're an animator and if you like art and you like animation, you should check it out. It's not a great story for an adult, but it is just beautiful. It just hits on the right levels. Just check that out.
Does it?
Yeah, Wonder Over Yonder, Gravity Falls, yeah.
Okay, so we got only one news for tonight, and that is Breaking Bad is filming season 6.
Wait, what?
Or is it?
No, he's dead.
Okay,
The guy's dead. He's not
so
coming.
No. Okay.
So technically, you're trying to say to me is this actual rumor now?
No. Let me explain this. Because Nick told me about this not that long ago. Nick read on a news report on a news website saying that Breaking Bad is filming season 6.
Is this actually confirmed, or is this just a rumor going on?
In this web, let me explain that. Give you details to it. In this particular news report, they actually have some pretty good value evidence to this. It has an artwork, a script. Anything else, Nick? That I'm missing here?
Fuck you.
Anything else? No, Nick, I want to know anything else I'm missing here. Oh, that's it. And with the valid things that like, oh, they're gonna come out with, and they kind of say in detail what's gonna happen. Apparently, Bryan Cranston's character Walter, he's still alive, and then, now they're moving in jail, and apparently now he need to get out of jail and sell more meth.
So it's basically Prison Break.
Yes, but what nobody knows about the British Columbia website, and I swear I was up and down saying, no, this can't be true. This has to be fake. I did some research. Everybody says, this is all fake. This is all bullshit. And you actually go to the website and you look at all the news articles they have. One of them was, and I can quote, Kim Jong-un is doing Ice Bucket Challenge.
Okay.
What?
Exactly. And the cure for Ebola is being rich.
Technically, that is
What?
So pretty much, this is entire news website is not a fucking website. It's a joke fucking website.
So we're relating false information here then.
That's pretty much what it was. And like, I swear, Nick was up in arms. I thought he was fucking me the entire time, saying like, this is true. This is absolutely true. I'm like, this
I
can't.
did not say that. I said it looks real. I just said it looks real.
You're denying
it.
You're denying it.
I never even said I knew what the news agency was that did it. It's just an article I came across. I read, like, Christian.
This looks
not
legit.
gonna like this.
Look, this looks legit. I'm gonna go tell Christian.
Pretty much.
But I swear, Nick, when you tell me about that, I say no, that can't be true. Because okay, if I could describe the ending to Breaking Bad, I thought it ended absolutely beautifully. You know what? And it did what it needed to do. It can answer whatever possible question it needs to be that need to be questioned. Not really. It gave every satisfaction. We saw Jesse, doing whatever he needed to do. We saw Walter being Walter with his genius. Pretty much, it did everything to satisfy every single fan, and ended absolutely beautifully with just Walter just looking up, which is, it could be like a bit of a parody or like a shout out to the Lost ending. I tell you, this is how you fucking do it, assholes. And yeah, and when I heard about that, I said, no, Nick, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
I don't believe you.
Exactly. That was the entire time. Like, I don't believe you, Nick.
Yeah, well, according to the writer of the show, he based the end episode on a basically like a Western film where basically the main soldier character is going to find his wife that has been captured by Indians, but he's going to kill the wife because she's cheating on him, and then when he finds the wife, basically chooses not to kill him, and that was the thing. Like, Walter White is going to kill Jesse, but when he finds Jesse, is he going to kill him? Is he not going to kill him? I, of course, have not seen this episode or watched Breaking Bad, but I know about the writer, and that's where he's coming from.
I haven't watched Breaking Bad.
But
Well, that's I haven't, and yeah, I don't. I'm going from what I've heard, so you're spoiled secondhand.
Yeah, he's a hipster media buff. If it's popular, he won't watch it.
No, I'm not against it being popular. I tried watching the first episode of Breaking Bad. It wasn't something that interested me. It went on for 6 seasons. Or how many seasons? I'm not
yeah, and then it went on for 5 seasons.
Yeah, it went on for 5 seasons. At no point did it really lure me in.
Well, you only watched like that one episode?
Yeah, just the first episode.
That's where you failed it. You shouldn't watch that one episode. You should watch, like, I would say for anybody who watches like, any show, give it up to 6 episodes, and that's it. If that's the cutoff point, 6 episodes. Because sometime with a show,
Well, I'm not really invested in the main character. because he's so different from me that I'm not that interested. I mean, even when he's like dealing drugs and doing all this weird stuff, I'm still kind of like, nah, not my kind of guy. I mean, I'm more interested in the parodies of the show than I am in the actual show. Because I know nothing about the show, but then parodying of like Jimmy Kimmel that parodied it, and Saturday Night Live that parodied it. Those were really interesting to me because it got to where I could get instant gratification in that this is funny, this is making some fun of something that's topical and informing me about it. I like it. That's basically my thing. I like the parody. I don't really watch
Just like all those thousands of memes that he's saying, like, quote unquote, is a better story than Twilight.
A lot of things are a better story than Twilight.
I'm just saying it. It's just like one of those memes. Like the way you're expressing it about them.
Sell a better love story than Twilight. Yeah, what is it?
So Nick, how do you feel about it when you actually heard about the news? Come on, Nick. You were a bit ecstatic about it.
I wanted to see more. I'm not going to cry about it.
We all want Seinfeld back. Bring it back to us, damn it.
It is. Oh, Curb Your Enthusiasm.
It's a show about nothing.
Great. That's it. That's the one news story we're going to do. And right now, you know what? For all the people out there, it's Halloween. Oh, well, it's for the month of Halloween. And, usually, okay, this is for me. I have myself in a tradition that I usually do during the month of October is, watch whatever related stuff of Halloween. That's like horror movies or what have you. Video games, comic books. I do whatever I can to get myself in the spirit of just that good old Halloween spirit. And so, you know what? I want to share it to everybody else. And see, what can you do during the month of Halloween? Watching, whatever, TV, watching movies, reading comic books, maybe reading a book. We're going to go, so we all have a little list. Well, most of us have our little list.
Oh, why are you guys looking at me here?
Look, sometimes you gotta wing it.
Pretty much.
Gotta go out there, stretch your stuff.
Thing is, I don't need a list and pen and paper. That's one thing. I got the list right here.
Alright. That's my ass. And you know what? I want to start off first. And this is what I want to recommend to everybody. Even though, for those anime people, for those who read manga, if I could recommend like a horror manga, Uzumaki. For what's it about? It's about this town. It's kind of a kind of curse or plague with this spiral thing going on. And the spiral plays a really big part in the whole manga.
So what? A spiral?
Yeah, it's a spiral. It plays a really big part in the manga. And the entire manga itself is an anthology kind of tale, but still connecting with everything that goes with the main character. I forgot her name. Kiri, I think. I swear, the images on this is absolutely creepy and eerie. The first story had to do with this dad who's absolutely obsessed with the spiral, where he buys everything that look like a spiral whatever thing, and up to the point where he spins his entire eye to look like an actual spiral. Spoiler for everybody. To the part where he got his tongue out and he literally bent it to look like an actual spiral. Where let's just say his ending has to do with that particular spiral.
I'm listening to this and I'm like, I swear I know some Japanese manga porno artists that sound like they do a better job than what you're describing. just because it's filthy, it's a lot of disgusting things, and it's kind of scary. But you want to fuck it. That's the work they do.
Okay.
Yeah, I do gotta say, I know they have the movie out, and I saw the trailer, and my god, that trailer looks absolutely creepy and eerie. I'm right now reading Volume 2. It's pretty good. And there was a boy called Jack in the Box, which at the end he gets killed. And
spoilers.
Oh, sorry. And they probably had to dig up his body to make sure he's actually dead. Well, he's an actual Jack in the Box when that happened. He fucking springs up.
This is horror.
Yeah.
Horror? Not comedy?
And you know what? Like I said, I'll recommend everybody, to watch it. I'm gonna watch it. Fucking read it. It actually is really good manga. So next, you're up next.
Okie dokie.
My first is John Carpenter's Vampires. It came out when I was a little younger, and it's definitely an edgier film. It basically follows a group of vampire killers that are like hardcore biker style guys. They're just general badasses. And then one night, all but 2 of them get killed, and they go on a revenge gig against, as it turns out, the first vampire, who's sort of a Dracula mock-up, and they take a hooker that he's bitten and use her to hunt him down. And they kill a bunch of vampires along the way, and it has an interesting little twist at the end, sort of. It's just a fun, good vampire thriller, and it's definitely one I like to see whenever I can.
Mike?
Okay, my list. The granddaddy of them all. This is on the, not number 1, but it's in the top 10s of a lot of classic horror film lists. And it's Suspiria from 1977.
Oh, I love that movie.
See? That's a sexual moan right there. Okay, he knows how good this is. Suspiria, it's a witch movie featuring ballerinas. It's shot in a specific way using...
Is it a specific kind of camera where like everything is a little more brighter and a more like kind of candy colored way?
It tweaks the colors. Like, you can do that now with modern cameras. If you see like Kill Bill, like the colors are turned up. Yeah, it's basically has a feel of that effect, except it's lighter. And it's a classic movie. It's a great movie. I mean, I could describe it, but really you need to see it. It's ballerinas, it's witches. The whole point is a girl who enters a ballerina academy, and she has to solve a mystery having to do with the first person she meets at the ballerina academy who ends up dead. And then it sort of spirals from there.
You know, I do kind of wonder, like, do you know what the particular genre for like Italian call like like gallows, I think it's called, or gyro, something like that?
Well, there's such a thing as gallows humor. This is, in horror, it's something to do with witches. And I have a lot of movies like that have to do with witches. But I don't know the actual term, but it's something with witches. That's basically the categorization. Does it have witches? Yes. Okay, it's in this category in horror.
Alright. So?
Okay. When it comes down to see it's something like a more of a mindfuck / also a mystery due to all this mystery thriller in the anime scene, I will recommend to see one show called the Higurashi no Naku Koroni, or the badly see English dubbed When They Cry.
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
Can you please explain it to us, the hell it is?
Pretty much, I will say this. See, like many of the different shows right now. Let's see, like they all focus on one type of arc. This one has multiple different arcs to see on different types of different protagonists. However, they all come with twists at the end.
So Lord of the Rings of M. Night Shyamalan did it?
Sort of. But yet it was all committed to straight murder at the end. But yet due to all the psychological reasoning towards it, you will see the characters actually mentally be broken down because they repeat the same day over and over when they change different protagonists during the story. However, let's see, I haven't really seen the entire series completely just yet, because so far what I know, there's only 2 seasons at this moment, what I've heard. But I recommend it. It's actually a good psychological thriller.
Alright. So, next for me, I want to bring up We're Alive, Story of Survival. Now, it's a podcast, well, it's not actually a podcast show, it's more like a podcast audio drama. Which pretty much is a radio drama, basically, but it's audio. And that's what I explain it. It pretty much, the entire premise is during the beginning of the zombie apocalypse. It goes with, there's a couple, army people, soldiers, what have you. They're trying to help everybody lives in the one building complex to help everybody, survive this entire zombie apocalypse. That's pretty much the whole premise is. And it does sound familiar to you. Yeah, it kind of sounds like The Walking Dead. But before the TV show, this came before, but I know the fact that The Walking Dead probably came after it. And I gotta say, it's actually a really, really good audio drama. With iTunes, they do have where you can get radio shows, old school radio shows, your radio dramas and what have you. But if you do actually want something very new, and something that is actually pretty good, and I do some of the zombies during the month of Halloween, We're Alive.
And Nick strolls in with a book and a knife.
Please don't kill me.
Next one on my list is the first Paranormal Activity. Well, when this first one came out, it was an independent film mostly. Nobody was showing it, and they had this huge advertising campaign to get more people
to actually come watch it.
Yeah, no, just to get it put into more theaters, and it actually worked. And eventually me and my father rented it on DVD and then just watched it alone in the dark on a really big TV we just so happened to have at the time. And me and my father were like hardcore, couldn't give less of a shit about religious shit atheists. But this movie had a real dark sort of devil, demon-y feel that just, even though it's not our field, it's nothing that really does scare us. It built suspense so well, and it was a really good example of found footage style filmmaking. And it had us right until the final scene, and we really enjoyed it. It was the first horror film we both just enjoyed all out for years. Subsequent Paranormal Activity films afterwards were pretty much garbage. They said, hey, this film was really successful, and it cost next to nothing to make, comparably. And so they just did the same thing over and over.
Well, see, as someone who's actually really into the Paranormal Activity series, I am. That's the first horror series, besides the classics like Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th, what have you. This was the first one something about this actually is pretty good. And the first one I actually watched was Paranormal Activity 2.
Yeah, that was a good one too. It wasn't as good as the first one.
But and Saul saw it with me too.
Yeah, but by the time the third one came out, it just wasn't doing it for me anymore.
I still have to wonder to see how did they get those high definition cameras?
During the 80s.
during the 80s, just to record and see all the night scenes.
Yeah, let's just ask yourself, how many people put cameras throughout their whole house? Now, this one woman, not only does her husband do it, but her, father did it back when she was little.
Well, stepfather, pretty much.
Whatever. So, it doesn't...
Makes sense.
That's just one big, giant, gaping plot hole.
Well, see, at least with, her husband makes sense because, shit went down in that house.
And he did that because he was worried.
Yeah, at least with her stepfather. I was saying what kind of makes sense. I know for you it doesn't make sense, but I said, okay, I can see it because the dude sees some really spooky shit and says, you know what? I want to record it. I have no clue why. It's flimsy criticism. And even I would say, to me, the third one is my all-time favorite horror movie.
Really?
Really. Till this day, one of the scenes where it's his best friend babysitting one of the sisters, and in the bathroom
doing a Bloody Mary.
And when they get out the door, that to me the most scariest scene I ever seen. I'm going, fuck you, ghost, blah. But I would say the fourth one for me is the worst out of all of them.
Yeah, it was utterly forgettable. I mean, I literally watched half of it and then just realized...
Was the fourth one the spin-off? Because I don't
No. The fourth... No, that's the Mark ones, which I will see whenever
I watched half of it, and then I came across it the other night on Netflix, and I thought, I didn't see the fourth one yet. And then I brought it up, oh wait, I have watched half of this already. I had literally watched half of it, and then almost completely forgot about it.
And I gotta say, I felt I wasted my time, up until, the last minute. Cause I swear, that fucking ghost was lazy as shit. That ghost did nothing.
Yeah, there's literally a scene in it where he's just sitting in the room with them, and you can see, just barely see, lasers projecting onto him from an Xbox. And
fucking lazy ass.
Yeah, he's just sitting around with some 11-year-olds literally just sitting there.
I can see his lazy ass ghost.
That's about it. Next.
Okay, mine. I'm a person stuck in the classics.
There's a certain charm for classic movies.
No, the horror got attacked when Hostel got made. Horror sort of became torture porn, and the industry kind of fell apart. And I dropped it.
Well, technically, Saul was the one who started that one first, doing the whole torture.
Yeah.
Then Hostel, joined that trend.
Bad things happen, so I'm.
Bad shit happens.
I'm in the past. So my next one, most of mine are past stuff. And this is a movie that's really close to my heart. I've watched this movie 6 times with different people. Every time somebody tells me they haven't seen it, I somehow arrange for us to watch it. And it's Rosemary's Baby from 1968.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, every time I watch it, I see something different and I realize something I didn't realize.
Well, describe what Rosemary's Baby is.
Rosemary's Baby simply is a couple moves into apartment. Next door lives a Satan worshipping cult, and basically a deal happens with the husband, and she becomes the mother of the devil's baby. And there's a lot of things I love about this film. The truth being, there is a sort of rape scene in the movie. It's not horrible or bad, but the devil rapes the girl, and the devil is played by Anton LaVey, who was the head of the Satanist church, good friends with Marilyn Manson.
Oh yeah, I remember that guy. He's actually a funny guy.
Yeah, and there's also a history beyond the movie. The director of the movie, his wife and unborn child were murdered by the Manson family shortly after.
Oh, yes, I heard about that.
Yeah, he's Roman Polanski. He's currently in jail for child rape, I think. Yeah, the problem with him is he moved into a house for the record producer for the Beach Boys, which had slighted Charles Manson, and Manson sort of sent his children to dispatch that record producer and his family. And, Roman Polanski had moved into the house. It was sort of a mix-up. Anyways, wife and kid, an unborn kid, she was pregnant at the time, dead. And then shortly after that, he was in a relationship with a woman, with an underage girl, and had to flee America.
And I still say fuck him.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I'll give him some sympathy for the whole family dying, but
that, I'll give him to that. But other than that, I'm sorry, no. You ever heard like the allegation of where like he raped somebody in like Jack Nicholson party? I'm like, no, fuck him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but I like the movie. It's a great movie. Love it.
Yeah. So,
Okay. I'm gonna go down to a novel on this one and see I would recommend reading the book of I Am Legend, made by Richard Matheson.
oh whoa, you got a book reader here.
how dare you?
Wait, how dare I?
How dare you bring books into this discussion?
What book was it?
Well, we were all talking.
I Am Legend.
I don't like you.
You don't like me? Why?
Wait, is this the I Am Legend?
Okay. This is the horror fiction novel. Let's see, back in 1954.
So the
made
classic,
yes,
vampires,
the vampire
villain guy.
Yes.
I forgot who the actor in the movie that played
Not
that.
the one with Will Smith.
No, not Will Smith. There was a real horror actor that played that.
The other one was by The Last Man on Earth in 1964. You're talking about that one. If not, the Omega Man in 1971.
There was the actor for Jafar, Vincent Price. He was in the movie for this.
Yep.
Alright, I stand by your choice.
Yeah, the thing is, the book actually had a much different ending than the movies.
Yes, of course.
And it had a different actual lesson from it, too.
Exactly. That's why I prefer to actually read that. I'm not going to spoil anything or even say anything about the plot. Just pick it up. It's a good read. Trust me, it's going to be great.
Alright, you know what? I'm going to something that is inspired by I Am Legend. Night of the Living Dead. I love this movie. For those who don't know what the hell Night of the Living Dead is.
That's the original black and white.
The original black and white. Alright. Now, for those who don't know, it's the beginning of the whole, the whole zombie thing the zombie epidemic that's going on. Nobody knows what's going on.
Yeah, Romero invented zombies.
No. Zombies was long invented before Romero.
Yeah, but his
It's especially done by that one Italian director who created the movie Zombie.
Well, no, Zombie came I think right after Dawn of the Dead. When I get back to Night of the Living Dead, it's a great movie, and the main cast was a black man. And it was during the 1960s, the late, when I think it was right after Martin Luther King got shot.
It premiered the night Martin Luther King got shot. It was shown in a theater that night.
And
that's a bit sensitive right there on that subject.
And you know what? I would say watching the movie, it still holds up. It's a great classic.
I debate that. I don't think it holds up that well. I think it's a great start.
I think it still holds up. Some things here and there, but some things are product of time, but I still think it still holds up. And for some people who don't know the actual historical value to this, I would say watch the companion piece, a kind of double feature thing, Birth of the Living Dead. It's a documentary that's pretty much about Night of the Living Dead, and it can tell you each by each thing, of who was the whole process of Night of the Living Dead, and also of what was going on during Night of the Living Dead, and what some of the historic values, which was the movie was public domain, and it pretty much the whole thing. First it got bashed, but then when it premiered in France, everyone's like, you know what? Let me take a good look. Oh, this is a great film. Roger Ebert gave it 3.5 out of 4 stars. And it was a great thing about it. While I was watching the documentary, I said, you know what? I had to do a triple feature of this. I have to. One of them was like Night of the Living Dead, top billing. Then after that is Doctor Who and the Daleks. And after that is Ghidra, the 3-headed monster. That is the perfect, like, you know what? I want to do that one day. I want to do that, and it will be awesome.
Just invite us over, put them all on, and we'll stream it online. In the modern world, son.
Why do I have a feeling this is going to turn out to be nothing more than a marathon one day?
All right, Nick, it's your turn.
Okay, my next one on the list is the original Amityville Horror. I saw once again, another one I saw when I was young.
Who's in the original?
I don't know.
Apparently, Amityville Horror it's an actual real house.
Yeah, it was an actual event.
Yeah.
And a quote-unquote actual event.
Yeah, it all gets thrown up in the air. I didn't like the remake of it. I mean, basically, it's a haunted house film that actually gets... I don't want to give anything away if you haven't seen it or the shitty remake, but it just seems like it holds a lot more weight on it with the events that happen. In the end, granted, everyone does come out all right, and you kind of know that at the end, but it's got some really hardcore, scary moments in it. And the best thing is to actually look up what actually happened, the real story that it's based on, and the real house that it's based on. Because the cool thing is, the house itself was eventually moved too. They literally picked up the house and moved it somewhere else just because there was so much, I don't know whether it was negative publicity around it or anything, but and somebody put up another house and somebody moved in, and supposedly nothing's happened since then. But it's a horror film that's based on something that really did actually happen, or at least a series of events. So you want to give it a look, watch the original, and then look up Wikipedia, the events that actually happened surrounding it.
Are you sure Wikipedia?
Wikipedia is bound to have it. It has everything.
Well, yes, but how reliable is Wikipedia?
Not that bad. There aren't that many trolls on it anymore. It does get filtered like regularly. People go on there and if they see something that's wrong, they'll correct it.
Okay.
Wikipedia is at 100%, but it's gotten a lot better now. So it's worthwhile.
Mike?
Is anybody familiar with the porn star Misty Mundy? She did Planet of the Babes. Nobody? No one?
Enlighten us.
She's a B-movie horror actress. She's actually a very nice person. I got to talk to her. Before I was a filmmaker, I got to talk to her, and she was very nice to me, and encouraged me to go on to do film. But I found out about this movie because there was a block of horror movie reviews, and she reviewed this one and gave it a good review. And I like her, and I went and watched this movie, and I truly do love it. Christian has seen it. He loves it too.
What is it?
It is the original Wicker Man from 1973.
Oh, yeah.
They made a remake.
Not the memes! Oh, not the memes!
Insert the meme right here.
Not the memes! Oh, not the memes! Ah.
I don't know who that's from.
But yeah, it's been a while since I see it. It's still good.
It's absolutely good. It's one of it's not just I'm gonna scare the hell out of you horror movies. It's a movie where somebody enters into a world where they're completely alien and they're sort of manipulated over and over again into a position where they're completely and utterly doomed, and by the time they realize it, it's too late for them to do anything about it. And so they basically just cry out in horror and plead to God, and it's just doom, and it's wonderful. And it stars the guy from your movie. I forgot his name. It doesn't star, but it has him.
Christopher Lee.
Yeah, it is Christopher Lee. Yeah, and I like it.
Hey, Mike, do you want that candy that's made out of pineapple?
You guys are going off topic. I'm following you into these off topic situations.
It happens. Alright. Well, I'm gonna throw down another book right here. Let's see, as someone's throwing their paper out of the window just
You're
because.
just making us all look bad because you read. You actually read.
What's wrong with reading?
Okay,
what is wrong with reading? Okay,
You're just visual.
All right, I know.
From the modern world.
Yes, I understand most people enjoy movies and everything else, but you see, I do have some pastimes here. I do read, but this is going to be my last recommendation that belongs in the horror section that I've read. I will actually prefer to reading the novel of World War Z for the exception of watching the film. Many people actually watched the film and also they enjoyed it. I understand that. However, they literally ripped off some details based on the novel itself.
And you know what? I've not read the book. It's one thing I've been really wanting to, but I actually have the audiobook. And I would say audiobook is absolutely fantastic because it has a lot of actors in it, and one of them is Mark Hamill. He's the sergeant or one of the soldiers, and it was one of the big battles against the army against the zombies.
To tell you the truth, see, I haven't really heard the audiobook. I want to check it out. I do, because the details you gave me and everything else way before this recording. I want to check that out. However, let's see, I'm still going to say this. I recommend reading the book. It's a good read.
Alright. And like I said, you know what? That was one thing I wanted to recommend into is listen to the audiobook. And especially the part with the Mark Hamill part. It's one of those things that it's so eerie. And Mark Hamill is he's great in it. Although, with being the voice of the Joker, he could be great in fucking anything.
Troy Baker.
No idea who that is.
He's a voice actor. That's the way I could tell you.
Alright. Is he the voice of the main guy from Cowboy Bebop?
I think he did Cowboy Bebop.
I'm not sure.
Did Troy Baker did Cowboy Bebop? Let's rock the wiki. Let's rock the wiki.
No, it's Stephen Bloom.
Stephen Bloom did
Steve Bloom.
Steve Bloom did that one?
Yeah.
Of course, he's...
Troy Baker did a whole bunch of shit. Let's move on.
I know, he did so much. Okay, he used the voice of the Lego Batman 3, Far Cry 2, Pagan Min, Call of Duty, Private Mitchell, Saints Row, Get Out of Hell, The Boss. He's Ocelot in Metal Gear Solid 5.
He's the Joker. He's the new Joker. He's this. He's that. So we're gonna be here all night looking at this fucking thing. Let's put down the phones. Let's put down the phones right now.
Hold on. He's also Clarence in. He's Booker DeWitt in Bioshock Infinite.
It's okay. It's okay if I move on.
Yeah, you can move on.
Okay, good. Thank fucking God. Now, I'm gonna recommend this show for everybody to watch. It's called Supernatural. It's a show.
Really?
Yes, really.
Really?
It's a really good show.
I've always anything on the CW I view as something in the realm of a teenage girls.
But see, no, it's Supernatural, but see, it's not really like that.
Is it like Angel at all?
No, not really. I mean, okay, kind of in a way, but no, not really. Let me best explain what the plot summary is. It's pretty much two brothers whose their dad is into, pretty much killing ghosts or killing demons, what have you. They're in the family business.
Is Ghost Rider?
No.
Damn.
And, pretty much they go around country. I guess the best you say is solve cases. So
aren't they looking for their dad?
So is this
that's in the first season.
Okay, so you're saying this is kind of close to Scooby-Doo and the Gang, right?
Except killing ghosts, and the ghosts are real.
It's like a hardcore Scooby-Doo in the Gang where there's only two people. There aren't any Scooby snacks, and you can get your head cut off.
Yeah,
man, I miss the two stoners.
And you know what? It's actually really good. The first time I started watching it with my girlfriend Elisa from Dr. Netflix, elbow shoulder. When the first time we actually got to watch it, the first time we watched it, we were not really into it.
I don't know.
But then when I kind of watched it around October, I gotta say it was actually really good. It has some horror elements into it. It's a really good show. It's Nick, you will love this. They have angels and they're dicks.
I know all this shit, and at the same time, I'm still to me, the Supernatural fans are the True Blood fans. Are the same.
No. See, Supernatural kick True Blood's ass any time of the week.
I'd have to take your. I haven't seen either one.
Well, maybe the third season and up. I still say that the first and second seasons of True Blood were excellent.
And it is Supernatural is really good. It's episodic, so and they go from like 29, well, primarily it's like around like 25 episodes each season. So yeah, it's all pretty long, and there was some episodes you're like, but overall, it's a really, really good horror kind of show. I would really recommend it for anybody to watch.
Okay, next one on my list. I'm going to talk about one you probably may not remember. Stir of Echoes.
A game?
No, it was actually a film. I think it was actually a remake, too. It was a really cool film with Kevin Bacon in it, and it's him and his wife, and they're throwing a party one night, and then just as a little parlor trick, his hippie sister-in-law puts him under hypnosis. And then all of a sudden, he starts having these weird nightmares and visions, and he just becomes obsessed with them, and they're sending him messages. It goes and it just consumes his life, and he starts digging holes like relentlessly in his backyard. He starts having visions of this girl that gets killed, and then he eventually finds her, and that's when things go completely fucking wild. And it has, once again, a very interesting twist ending. It's not like, oh my god, but it's an interesting twist on it, shall I say. And I don't want to ruin it, but it's a great suspense film. I don't know if it qualifies as horror, but it's definitely a good suspense film.
Yeah, thriller.
Oh yeah.
Well, can you watch it like during like a month of pop like?
Absolutely.
Okay, Mike, your turn.
Okay, mine's pretty cold and simple. It's 1983's Videodrome.
Oh yes.
Is it David Cronenberg?
Yeah, it's David Cronenberg.
Yeah.
The way how you just said, oh yeah, it sounded like you just had an orgasm on that one.
Yeah.
He's not, I swear, like when Mike says something, it touched me in a good way.
I mean, it's a timeless classic. It's one of Cronenberg's best. I wish I had some tidbits about this movie. There really isn't. I mean, the lead singer of Blondie is in there, and
Wait, who was she?
she's the girlfriend.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
No, what? God damn it! I watched that movie like many times, and I keep saying this. Like, she looks very familiar. Could be anybody. She's Blondie, is what you're saying.
Blondie is the name of the band. I don't know her name. It's actually really
And she's Blondie.
The Blondie comes from Hitler's dog. That's what the band is named after.
Always a great thing to name your band after.
And she's the lead singer, and she's an actress, and she's
Okay, well, what's it about?
Well, basically, it's a guy that runs a pirate, pretty much hardcore violence porn station, like TV station, and he picks up this pirated signal of just some disturbing shit that he wants to put onto his network.
And the main actor is
I don't know his name.
is dude James Wood.
Yeah, James Wood. Okay. Yeah, and he sort of starts chasing down the signal. As he chases it down, he meets these weird and unusual people, and he keeps watching the show, and reality keeps like melting away slowly. Towards the end, he gets into this like weird and unusual place where he has to go out and do something. It's not clear what he has to do, but he has to kill people.
I would say, what do you think, like, is the commentary over? Because I don't want to get into, like, with at least something to fly, because that's, like, later on, or whoever will say it first, but what do you think is the commentary over a video joint? Is that one movie that, like, I thought the commentary is, if not more over, like, the, of how, like, people who stimulate with sex, I guess you can say, or, like, what the next beyond of sexual intercourse. That's what I thought when I first.
Are you talking about the philosophy in Videodrome, where people have become so addicted to television that reality itself is not enough for them?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, that's not true. We have TV on demand all we want now. So, why aren't people... I mean, people are obsessed with celebrities, but TV itself, like, people are still in reality. It's a movie where you have to suspend your disbelief, but it's such a wonderful,
I think
pornographic thing of horror.
I think you don't have to. Like, it's one of the things. Like,
the bridge isn't that big. To me, the thing is the ending where it's not clear what he's doing and how he's been brainwashed.
No, I think it was pretty clear what the ending was.
I mean, I'm not gonna spoil it.
I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm just saying I think it's pretty clear, but.
I mean, it's a great movie. People should see it. That's basically it.
It's a great movie. It's absolute recommendation. If you want to get into incredible stuff, that's one of them you should absolutely watch.
Cronenberg?
Yeah.
You're saying Cornenberg. You want a corn, Cronenberg? Is that it?
Fucker.
Just add some corn to his name.
Okay, Saul.
Alright. Technically, see, like, I'm not sure this one actually fits with the horror aspect, but yeah, it's a good film. The remake of American Psycho, the one with Christian Bale in the year 2000.
That's not a remake. That's
the original. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the original. That's not a remake.
I love that a female director made that movie, and then he was rejected by the ratings people because they didn't like the tone of the movie. They literally called her and just like, yeah, we're not gonna rate this anything below an X because the tone of the film is so disturbing to them.
And yet, that's the whole point of the whole movie.
Yeah, she's just like, what am I going to do about tone? What is wrong? What are you telling me here?
It's too disturbing. That's the whole point of the whole.
But it's an industry movie, and of course, the ratings people came to industry.
Anyhow, Saul. I swear.
So, okay, call me a cop-out on this one or anything like that, but yeah, no, I have not actually seen the film. However, I've been really seeing, like, not really reading, but I've been hearing, a lot of different things about it. See, like, how...
By that standpoint, Chainsaw Massacre, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a good film because you've been hearing some great things about it.
I'm not going to say that, because, really, it's hit and miss for me. The American Psycho, just like based on the character himself, how much I heard about this one review, how in-depth it is like, it really brings up the whole psychological aspect. That's how he goes into his own murderous rage. Would you go into a complete murderous rage based on a business card?
No, because I'm a sane person.
Psycho who lived in a city where I felt I was rich and powerful and could get away with murder. Might do some crazier things than that.
True. But yeah, would you get emotional jealous about it? Let's see how perfect a business card is, and then go into a murderous rage later?
Yeah, probably. I can see me doing that.
Exactly. Let's see, like, that's how it feels like I'm copping out on it, not me not watching it. But yeah, let's see. However, let's see.
Me and Mike is only probably two people who actually seen that movie.
Probably you guys did. And yeah, let's see, that's why I just brought it up, because let's see, you two are the only ones who actually seen the film. However, let's see, for me, I like to read about, like how characters are. Especially with this one.
I would say you should.
This one actually got my interest.
The actor is Christian Bale, Batman.
Well, he was playing a better role than his Batman.
Hey, I still say he's Batman.
I mean, that is the quintessential Christian Bale role. He's a sociopath. He's crazy. He may kill you.
I still remember, like, one of the best scenes. It's like him talking about this. I forgot which band was it, but it was on the background that he's wearing like this raincoat.
I know that scene. I
forgot that the song goes, but like, he was like and like, hey Jeff, ah! And I forgot what he says, like, you motherfucker, ah! But yeah, like, because Saul's a cop-out.
Shut up. I still need to watch the film. I'm also going to be going to look for it anyway, because it actually...
Yeah, like, you should. It's really a great film. Okay, I'm going to bring my attention to, I already said manga series, so you know what? I'm going to do a little old comic book. And I'm going to talk about House of Mystery. Not the old school House of Mystery, when they brought it to Vertical, and it was written by Bill Willingham. And, well, pretty much as, the plot how it goes is pretty much it's an anthology kind of tale. And this woman, I'm trying to best remember how it went. Pretty much she runs around and she doesn't know what the hell she is, and she comes across this mansion. Now, apparently there's 1,000 or 100 people inside this particular mansion, and it's a big fucking mansion. And, pretty much all these people, they go around with each other and tell their story to get, I guess, a beer or eating or what have you. And they tell whatever story they need be. And that's pretty much how it goes. Then I gotta say, it's before, like, Bill Willingham, like, become more famous with his Fable series. But House of Mystery is really good. I would say, like, I think, like, the first, like, couple of stories is really good. But then, like, as it kind of goes along, like, it's some are going to be weak than others.
So it doesn't have anything to do with, like, the House of Mysteries, the DC.
Yeah, but it's a Vertical title than, like, being the actual DC.
Does it have the Cain and Abel characters that DC owns?
I don't know. I only read it on the first volume. I think it has some pretty good artwork.
Classic House of Mystery. You can't do better than Wally Wood. I'm sorry. You can try, you will fail. That's just the greatest art. It was a popular title simply for its art, not its story. So having, House of Mystery and just being like, oh, the modern one is so amazing in its art, and I'm like, have you seen the original?
No. I never said it was amazing. I said it was pretty good, the art. I never said it was amazing. I said the stories are pretty good.
Yeah, you can give it that. I mean, but coming from where it's coming from in the DC world.
Well, like I said, it's a vertical title, so and with vertical, like there are like hit and misses.
Yeah, I mean,
but,
Grant Morrison certainly has screwed them a few times.
Hey, Adam screwed.
That's DC.
Slip the paint, Grant Morrison.
Weapons, Gray, Crystal Meth, Grant Morrison.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He probably have done a lot of weapons, Gray, Crystal Meth. But anyhow, House of Mystery. I say, give it a go. It's really good.
Yeah, and if you truly love art, go look at the originals. They're about the highest grade art you can get for cheap.
So yeah, Nick.
Okay, the next one I want to go up with, I'm just a fan of the Child's Play series. The original three, bear in mind. Now, I was like ultra scared of Chucky when I was little. I think there are a lot of kids that were. I refused to go into the back horror section of my local store just because that's where the boxes were. I used to watch horror films, but for some reason, Chucky just was always the scariest thing for me. I remember one really awful prank my parents pulled on me because I loved horror films and I was always looking for a new good one. But one time when I was 7, my parents, they sort of snuck up on me in the store while I was looking through, and they said, come over here, we think we found one, and they were hiding something behind their back. Now, I'm not stupid. Mama didn't raise no fool, and she knows that. But she was basically tempting me to come over, and I'm like, no, show it to me. And I'm like, no. And eventually they coaxed me to coming over, and then just out of nowhere, they pulled the Child's Play box with a big old Chucky photo on the front and said, it's Chucky, and sent me screaming across the video store. Fucking assholes. But that, even to this day, a lot of that fear still holds with me, and if you want to give me a good thrill, the Child's Play films are always good. Now, the Bride of Chucky and the Seed of Chucky were god-awful by every aspect. Anyway, around it, those were 2 terrible films, but recently, they were awful by every aspect.
I like Seed of Chucky because it's funny. It's dumb.
It's dumb, but it's not supposed to be dumb. It's supposed to be a horror film.
A horror film with a killer doll.
They did it right the first 3 times.
No, really. I mean, I seen Child Plays 2, and I like Child Plays 2. I seen Child Plays 3, and I remember liking Child Plays 3. But the entire concept, like, okay, this person is gonna be inside a doll. It's a killer. That's fucking dumb. I'm sorry. It's like Leprechaun.
Yeah, well, Leprechaun was pretty fucking stupid. But
she just also put down.
But it was in
Living Trolls.
I just can't be mad at Jennifer Tilly's cleavage. It's not possible for me.
No, but they've made up for it. The Curse of Chucky.
Oh, that was a really good one.
That was good. I mean, it really went back to basics, and they created a really good film, and it had a great. After the credits, they had this great little twist ending. You have to watch it and wait till after the credits. You will be glad, I assure you. It was definitely a rewatch. From the harshest critic of Bride and Seed of Chucky says this one is good. It restores your faith in Child's Play.
Well, we always have to factor in how old we were at the time and what we thought was scary back then.
I still think the part in Pinocchio when like they go to Pleasure Island and the kid turns to donkey.
Yeah, Pinocchio is fucked up, man. It's a fucked up story.
Well, anyhow, so what's up next, Mike?
All right, this one's a movie that just it strings a lot of different lines. You can call it a lot of different things, including horror. The director Richard Elfman basically says why this works is in the same way that Oh Brother Where Art Thou works, where it's using classic music.
What is this movie?
I'll tell you. Just bear with me. You will know. You know, my son. You will know one day what it is to be a man.
I need to know, Mike. I need to know.
No, well, yeah. Richard Elfman.
Oh.
Well, Danny Elfman is his brother, and Danny Elfman does the music for this film.
Okay. No, I see. When you say Danny Elfman, wait, Danny Elfman is.
He's also an actor in this movie.
Oh, what is this movie?
Okay, I'm just going to explain why this movie works. Basically, taking all the classic, folksy musical traditions of the past and bringing it into a new movie, which is what they did in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, and whatever the brothers are doing continuously now.
The Coen brothers.
Yeah, the Coen brothers. And the movie is the original black and white Forbidden Zone movie. If you've not seen that,
I have not seen it.
I'm very sad for you because this is probably on my list of all-time favorite movies. Close to the top, if not my favorite movie. They're making Forbidden Zone 2. I gave them money to make Forbidden Zone 2. They crowdfunded that. I paid them a fairly large amount of money that I didn't have to get this going. And I love it. It's Forbidden Zone. It's a great movie. It exists in black and white, and it exists
But what's it about?
colorized version. It's about... That becomes complicated. That's why this is such a movie that strings so many different lines of what you can categorize it as. It's a French transfer student, Frenchie.
Frenchie.
If you see it, you'll know. It comes to America, attends school, has a bad time in school. All this is hilarious and amazing when you see it. I'm doing a disservice by explaining this to you because it shouldn't make logical sense.
Well, you just need to put some lost confidence. Like, shit happens.
Yeah, shit happens. But basically, the Frenchie runs away from school because it's too messed up. And it's messed up in these, musical numbers, crazy gang violence, showy kind of way. And then she runs into the basement of the house that she's staying with, and she falls into the fifth dimension. And the fifth dimension is this, crazy...
Yeah, that's a rough lost numbers. I'm not asking for, the whole...
I mean, honestly, you cannot explain it. I mean, I'm explaining it, and I'm giving it all this weird gravitas that just isn't there. It's an amazing film that you just have to sit, watch, listen to. It has animation. It has it's real action mixed with animation, and it's done in a way where it's not crap, where it's absolutely not crap. And I love that.
Alrighty.
You have to see this. It's Forbidden Zone. It's one of the greatest movies ever made. Watch it.
Okay. Now, Saul.
Alright, technically, I'm going to put down the comic book series on this one. I'm going to say Constantine, really.
Which Constantine?
Dark Horse Constantine.
Yeah, but which book?
Wait, Dark Horse Constantine.
Yeah, there's more than one book.
Technically, I don't quite remember the see,
Now, let's... Wait. Do you mean the movie or the actual comic book?
I prefer the comic book over the movie.
Which comic book, though? There's more than one.
Are you talking about Hellblazer, or are you talking about Constantine?
Are you talking about Book of Magic with Constantine?
Okay, alright, fine. You guys are ripping me apart right here, so I'm just going to say this.
Alright, for that, I recommend Book of Magic, which has Constantine in as a character. He's also in Swamp Thing, where he's originally introduced by Alan Moore. One of the best runs from Swamp Thing.
Hell, I would even say I'll recommend the first run of Hellblazer with Constantine. I read those first.
I haven't read. I have a copy of Hellblazer. I don't know what it is or where it's from, but I want to burn it because I hate it. It's basically a movie that tries to. I mean, it's basically like the movie version in a comic, and I don't know where it's from or what it's from, but I want it dead. I want it gone.
I want it dead. I want his family dead.
Yeah, I want
to go in the prison.
I don't want it to exist. I want, what Alan Moore wrote as Constantine, and then what Neil Gaiman wrote in Book of Magic of what Constantine is. What I have as the standalone Constantine collection, I do not like, and I don't want any more of.
I just realized. Saul, are you copying out again?
No. Technically, right now, you guys already tore me apart, so what's the point of me actually saying anything?
Well, no.
It's good to like Constantine. He's a bastard of a human being, but there's some humanity there.
Well, if I want to go let's get down to the movie route, there's a whole different story about it. It's of course, I can tell, the character and everything else, it's not based off source material completely. I know that.
Yeah.
Film adaptation down to the comic book is completely different.
Yeah, the film sucks.
I can say this is a guilty pleasure for me. I like the movie. I really do.
I enjoy the movie. It's not Constantine. I know that for sure.
There's Shia LaBeouf Shia LaBeouf is like a disease in film to me.
Okay, I'm gonna say this, alright? I'm gonna say this. As much as I hate Shia LaBeouf as being the quote unquote the chosen that speak to the Autobots in Transformers, I'm gonna say this. Shia LaBeouf is being just a taxi driver and also being the apprentice, he's tolerable. That's the only thing I can say. He's tolerable.
He dies.
Also, to me it throws it out because I'm like, it's a kid driving a cab.
I'm just gonna say he's a tolerable character. I mean, I did read the book. I did read the novel of Constantine based on the movie, but it's
a novel?
Yeah, that was a movie adaptation novel.
An actual novelization.
It's actually like there were certain parts based on the film and also the novel itself completely different. And they have, let's see, like the character who portrayed, Shia LaBeouf was supposed to be in the novel is completely different. He was more of a rugged type of kid. Old school thief, right there, beggar mostly. But he works of course as a driver for a taxi company.
Does this particular Constantine is British and have blonde hair and wears a...
No, he's not British or blonde hair or anything else like that. This one
is he chronically smoked and is dying of cancer?
Pretty much, yes.
All right,
I'm close enough.
All right, it's my turn, and so I'm kind of surprised you haven't brought any video games up.
I'm surprised we haven't got anywhere near Walking Dead yet.
Please don't. Please don't.
Ooh, just for that, Mike, we will next time.
Son of a bitch. And I've watched none of this. Read none of it.
But anyhow, I'm torn apart which one I should bring out, and you know what? Dead Space is the one I want to talk about.
The game?
Yeah, the game.
Alright.
If you've been living on the rock. Dead Space is pretty much, you're to do the name of Isaac, right?
Yeah, you're pretty much a space miner named Isaac.
Who
pretty much ventures into the lost colony space ark called the Shimura.
And bad shit happens, and I love that. I love that fucking video game. It's one of my favorite horror games to play. The atmosphere, I swear, when I was playing that fucking game scared the fuck out of me. It terrorized me. And then when I actually start upgrading shit, it's like, wow, these things actually kind of push over. But yeah, it's really good. The aliens, I would best describe them. It's what if they gone to the whatever planet the thing actually was sprayed at them. That's best I can describe it because you like that. Don't like that. It's and it's really good. It's really enjoyable. You also check it out. Oozing with all creepiness and eeriness. Fucking love that game. Love it.
I look every once in a while. I look at it at Steam, and I'm just like, I don't feel like playing a demon game. And I'm like, it's in space, and it's kind of sci-fi, and I'm like, I don't want to play a demon game. That's just what repeats in the back of my head.
Like you should. At least just give it a shot.
I'll do this at least. I may watch the animated movie.
Isolation?
Yeah.
Why?
That's based on Isolation. Yeah, gotta tell you, it's more like a prequel. It's more of a prequel than the original game. That's what it is.
I don't know, man. I'm not a horror game kind of person.
But you play video games.
I do, but I'm like a gangster that kills people or some weird overpowered knight that just fucks shit up. I'm not running away from crap. I don't like that.
If it means your survival, you gotta have to.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Nick.
Yes. Well, I suppose the next one I should go with is going to rip this off of someone's list here, but I love the Dawn of the Dead remake.
I love that too.
Is that the one where they're in the mall?
Yes.
The original and the remake are both in a mall.
Alright.
But I don't know, just some reason the second one, or the remake, it always just tickles me right.
It's kind of funny.
You do realize that you work in security, and that movie villainizes security guards in the worst way.
Yeah, it does, but you know what? I've worked in a mall before, and there are a couple assholes like that typically. So,
well, for those who don't know what Dawn of the Dead is, pretty much zombie epidemic, people going to a mall. Yeah, but it's kind of different from the actual original, where in the original Dawn of the Dead, the zombie epidemic, we already know what kind of happened from Night of the Living Dead, so we know it's still kind of going around. It's much more smaller, but now it's still kind of going up. I think that's you could say. And well, for people going to think more, which it was more kind of comic bookish, a bit of a comedy kind of too. The remake is a lot more darker. It's a lot more bleaker.
I used to know who the director of that was because I know he did something else.
George A. Romero?
No,
or Zack Snyder?
Oh, it is Zack Snyder.
Yes.
What did Zack Snyder do before that I hated?
Well, you mean after, which he did 300, Man of Steel, Watchmen.
Yeah, I'm not mad at those so much, but he did something else. But
Yeah, Zack Snyder did also the Star Trek movies?
No, that's J.J. Abrams.
We have differing opinions about him.
Which I respect.
Anyhow, but ever since I first saw it, it's always been a good Halloween favorite for me. It's almost ceremonious that when Halloween rolls around, you gotta watch it.
Alright.
Do they play it anymore on TV?
Of course, I'm sure they will. We're going to see it a dozen times, I'm sure, this month. But if not, it's bound to be on Netflix or Hulu, something.
Like,
okay, this one. I think it's John Carpenter, but In the Mouth of Madness.
yeah, it is John Carpenter.
Yeah.
Which I heard that's like the last great John Carpenter film, and that's it.
I really wouldn't know, but it is a Lovecraft-styled creation, which pretty much captures Lovecraft as best as you could in film. And I watched it, I liked it, it pulled me in, just the end is, I don't know, I like the end.
Well, can you describe what Mouth of Madness is about?
Mouth of Madness is a writer writes a book. The book makes people crazy, and this investigator is tasked to track down the manuscript of this book because it hasn't been published yet. The publishers want him to find the source material, the publisher, the book that he's written. And what happens is the guy ends up in this town that is the creation of the writer on the book he's writing, and then sort of becomes a fictional character himself, and slowly reality starts dissolving and demons and Lovecraft sort of creatures start entering the world. And it just ends with, like, I'm not ruining anything by saying this, the guy ends up in a mental institution. That's the first thing you know about this film when it starts.
Alright.
And that's how it goes. And it just accumulates. It's just such a great film that captures Lovecraft's spirit so well.
Alright. So,
Really, I can think of one. Really, see the one that actually does burn inside my memory at the most. Pretty much to say everyone right here actually knows to see Nightmare on Elm Street.
yes.
Everybody do remember that.
We are the Dream Warriors!
But the one that actually burns through my memory the most, that I actually have more remember it, more fun of, is actually the New Nightmare.
Wait,
New Nightmare on Elm Street?
New Nightmare or
The New Nightmare.
Okay. Sorry, like
No, not the remakes or anything else. No, not those. But the movie called The New Nightmare. Based on the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
well, no, like
I'm gonna say
it's not based on the original. It's hell. That means a sequel. It's like
It's sort of like a break of the fourth wall in a way.
yeah, like it was Scream before Scream.
yes. That one's actually one of the say I'm actually more fond of because to see it actually like even though it breaks the fourth wall, it kind of relives the see based on the original. Except let's say you have it let's see happening on these quote unquote so-called real lives of the actors who aired in the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
You know what? I would recommend like the first Nightmare on Elm Street. I watched that movie. It's still really good. I still love it.
Johnny Depp dies.
Oh,
You can see enough.
that's fine.
All the teenage girls are just crying their eyes out right now.
It's fine. He comes back in Freddy's Dead, the final nightmare. And where did they do that whole commercial like this is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. It's literally Johnny Depp doing it. Any questions? And Freddy Krueger go bah with a pan. Johnny he's like, yeah, I have a question. Looks like a bunch of eggs to me. And also, I would recommend Dream Warriors. Dream Warriors is awesome, especially the song by Doc. And also
Here's
Freddy.
also another recommendation: Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah, I love that movie. I seen.
I mean, let's see. For me, I could say like it's a hit and miss for me, but I enjoyed it.
I don't know. I mean, Freddy versus Jason. It just always seemed like kind of a stupid film.
But see,
I suppose that's one of those like guilty pleasures out there.
it's a really awesome movie. It literally is King Kong versus Godzilla. But yeah, like Nightmare on Elm Street, I'll recommend the whole series to watch. I love the whole.
Except for the remake.
But see, I would say with the remake though, it's not a bad movie. It's not terrible. It's just blah. It pale comparison to like, I get what they're trying to do, and I remember I did say that pretty much like it kind of went back literally to basic because originally Freddy Krueger was supposed to be a child molester, but they changed it. Well, back then he's a child murderer because yeah, shit.
I guess they didn't want to deal with that stuff back then.
But yeah, you know what? I also recommend like a companion piece with is Never Sleep Again, the documentary, which is pretty much the whole pretty much the documentary that explored like each franchise. It has most of the actors, not a whole lot of them, but have most of them. Patricia Arquette and Johnny Depp is not in it, but it goes through each one. The exception is the remake, and hell, apparently Peter Jackson was the writer on Freddy's Dead.
That's an info I haven't heard of.
Okay. Whew. Damn. You know what? I'm gonna go for all. I'm baking all my chips in this particular one. The Walking Dead.
Let me just make
Walking
a
Dead is
sad,
awesome.
sad on a happy sound.
What do you like about The Walking Dead?
I only got like 5 or 6 episodes. The writing was derivative.
Well, have you read the actual comic book?
I don't want to.
Why not?
I'm a person that's
Hey, Christian, I watched the first 2 minutes of Citizen Kane. I didn't like it. It was boring.
Fuck you! Never say it to my face again, you asshole. Where was I? Oh yeah, Walking Dead. Straight.
No, I actually did read a good portion of the original comic book. It was good. I mean, it was old school, cheesy comic book horror styling, but it kept you interested with the characters.
Yeah. Fuck man, the TV show, like I watched the first season, I think I'm about at least halfway, or maybe I saw at least 2 episodes of like the second season. Even then, it's still a really good show. I even recommend the video game. It's pretty much a point and click.
That one. The one from Telltale's game.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the other one.
No, not that one, goddammit. That's it.
I thought you meant that other one.
But yeah, like the video game of Telltale's game. You know what? I'm gonna do a little cop out. I have not played the game, but I have seen the action. You know what? It made me more interested to actually play the game. I would say Walking Dead as a whole, even though now we're in the zombie craze and everything.
To be honest, I'm going to say this. Of course, cop out. I haven't really played the game either, but yet I've seen Let's Plays of them.
Yeah.
And really, to be honest with you, both Season 1 and Season 2 of the Telltale game pretty much got me hooked. I can't wait to see how far Season 3 will be. But yet, they hit you hard, really, especially when it comes down to the characters, because you have to... Season 1, spoiler, you pretty much see you looking after this one girl named Clementine.
Clementine.
You have to look after this girl because she really she fits the portrayal of an actual innocent girl in the middle of this. She has no idea or anything else that's going on. And then Season 2, she's a little bit older, and yet you're seeing her grow. You're seeing her actually become more of a not mature. I'm gonna say more of someone who's actually been trained how to survive and everything else like that during this apocalypse, including with the walkers and fighting the walkers and also bandits.
Right. And you know what? Yeah, I would recommend that. And Mike, there you. Well, okay. At least you watch a couple episodes of Walking Dead. So at least from that.
What's the furthest end that we've seen now? He's seen 5 episodes. You're just barely into the second season. How far are you in, Saul?
To be honest, I haven't watched the show because I don't have cable.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. Yes. No.
It's on Netflix.
I don't have Netflix.
I'm just at the end of the 3rd season. I'm about to get into the 4th season. And honestly, it's better than the comic in so many ways. It diverts off from the comic and just goes and becomes its own thing. It's excellent. It's good and it keeps getting better. so far as I've seen. I haven't seen the fourth season yet, but it looks really good, and I'm excited to see what happens in it.
So take that, Mike.
Yeah, feels all.
Okay, let's cut that out. Cut. Okay, Nick, it's your turn.
Okay, next up on my list, House on the Haunted Hill remake. Going back, it's not quite as scary as it used to be, but it was a fun film. It was a fun, scary film. It had some good jump moments. And they actually got a guy who I always felt was a good Vincent Price impersonator. He did a good job of actually acting like Vincent Price. He didn't have the cheesy, corny, spooky, but it's a little harder to find around, but you can usually spot it like once or twice on AMs around this month. So you see it, give it a shot. It's a fun one to watch. And then if you haven't seen it before, it'll give you a good spook. And I honestly think it's better than the original anyway. So
That's some words there, Nick.
okay.
That's a challenge.
This one, I don't know what year or who the director is. The Legend of Hell House.
The Legend of Hell House.
None of you have heard that?
Is it a documentary?
No. It's a real movie. It's a classic. It's right up there with Suspiria and Rosemary's Baby. It features some British actors. One of the main guys actually went on to be one of the main actors in Planet of the Apes, the original Planet of the Apes.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's a house where it's the one place on Earth where ghosts and paranormal activity has been recorded, and so it's basically these psychics who have been assembled as a team to go in to investigate this place after the first psychics were basically murdered one by one. Well, not murdered, crippled, or made mentally insane, and it's so well acted. It's really good. Like I said, it's up there with Suspiria and Rosemary's Baby. It's tremendous. There's this young British actress, and she goes on to actually make a few terrible movies. She does a terrible movie called The Witching with Orson Welles, which is about witches, but honestly, her great amazing movie is The Legend of Hell House. It is tremendous. People should watch it because it's up there. It's up there with the greats.
So,
Alright. I'm pretty much going to top off, let's see, on my end, and see probably one of the best storylines that Naughty Dog has ever done. It's called The Last of Us.
Is that horror?
It is horror.
technically, yeah.
Zombies.
Technically, you have the basis of post-apocalyptic setting and everything else based, by the cordyceps. Cordyceps ended up infecting most of human beings through the entire world. Right now, you have factions, of the military, fireflies, infected, and also
I like
bandits.
Firefly, but it only ended in season 1.
Yeah, technically, by the end of the storyline, they all die. So yeah, that's the end of season 1 there. Technically, what it is, you have the main character named Joel, who's pretty much lived 20 years to survive an epidemic erupted down in the south town of Texas. And yet he's up in the quarantine zone, living up in New York, up in Boston.
Boston.
However, and yet he's a smuggler. He ends up taking one of the jobs, taking care of this one girl named Ellie, making a cross-country trip down to a facility that the Fireflies held because apparently, spoiler alert, Ellie has the cure for the cordyceps infection that's crossed around the world. I'm not going to spoil anything else because I see a lot of things happen down the road of the short span of a full year, going all 4 seasons. However, you will start to see that the characters evolved. Not just on Joel, but the people you meet and also Ellie herself.
Alright, hold on. There's one last little thing about that game that many people might not know. The cordyceps infection is actually a real thing.
Exactly. It's based on the actual fungus that actually infects the ants.
And the thing is, it does mutate and evolve to infect other different types of bugs, so it actually isn't too far off to say there is a possibility it one day could infect humans. And it does, leach into your brain and fuck with you and make you do shit, or at least make them do shit.
So
I will fully recommend, let's see, people to actually play this game, because this is probably, to be honest with you, let's see, this is probably, I would say, one of Naughty Dog's best games they ever made. I could say, like, I'll be overbearing it, but yet the game is perfect. However, it has flaws. But yet you will notice those slight little flaws here and there, but yet you'll enjoy it.
yeah, I think I already said that. I was playing a little bit of a game. I was playing All Coffee on the PS3, and I was just messing around a little bit. And I didn't know there was one part where like it was the cops, and like you see everybody's like lining up and they're all gonna get shot or whatever because some or one of them is affected. I was just messing around, and like the cop pushed me. Like, okay, let me mess around. Like I don't know anything about it. The cop pushed me and shoot me. I'm like, fuck. I didn't know I could not do that.
It was one of the funniest things that happened to him first time trying that game. It was hilarious. Because you see that the environment is alive somehow, in some way. Mm-hmm. You will not know, let's see, how the environment will react towards the main character.
Yeah, it's definitely a great game. Played it myself, played it through, loved it.
Alright. I go with a movie called The Descent.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, apparently nobody has heard it. Maybe the exception of Mike.
That's the one where they go into the cave.
Yeah.
The way how Mike sounded, he sounded more disappointed about that.
Yeah,
I'm not that impressed by it.
I'm with Mike on this one.
Okay, well, pretty much the movie is about, like, well, a bunch of women go inside a cave and, well, bad shit happens, and more bad shit happens, and it becomes a survival kind of a movie where they have to now get out of this fucking cave because it's a cave in, and now they gotta find another way, and apparently there's bad shit, there's creatures in there, and taking them one by one. And I gotta say, I was going this kind of really blindly. I don't know what the hell even the movie was about. I said, okay, you know what? It got some good reviews. I said, well, let me watch it. And I was so surprised by it. I'm like, wow, this is actually a really good movie. But I see maybe it's one of the I'm more the majority of it because I actually do really like it because the best way I can describe it, it felt like to me a female version of John Carpenter's The Thing. Because it's just all females, and you don't know exactly who's going to survive and who's not. And I think that was what I was liking the most about it. And the more and more, it's like, wow, I kind of like the little plot twist into it. Somebody go, whoa.
It's just not my thing. I mean, it's kind of like, what's that thing where the guy got trapped by a rock and then he cut his arm off?
Oh, 127 hours.
Yeah, it's like that to me. I don't know.
Okay. Next one on my list, Stephen King's made-for-TV movie, Rose Red. And it is
Tell us about it, please.
There actually are a couple of throwbacks here and there. Basically, it's about a really evil haunted house, like hardcore. And Stephen King just completely jumps the shark in every element in it.
So is it scary or funny?
Oh, it's scary. It's got some good scary stuff in it. It's a house that's like a vampire and just feeds off people's souls. You have a university professor with supernatural who, just shy of getting kicked out of her job, decides that she's going to really earn her place by taking a whole bunch of psychics to a building, to Rose Red, because supposedly it's just stopped. It's dead. It's no longer activated because it's been closed down for years, and it's just due to be demolished.
Sounds like classic Stephen King.
And
Start in Maine.
yeah, no, actually, I know.
It's not Stephen King.
I know. It's like,
Wait, does anybody is in Maine?
I think there's some characters from Maine.
Nah, there you go.
Okay,
It's not Stephen King without something to do with Maine. He basically, all these psychics go in there to just try to spend a couple of nights, and they end up reawakening the building, which starts moving shit around, like literally the entire structure of the house is constantly changing. You can go into one room, walk out of it, and you're in a completely different place than how you got into there. It makes very little sense in those aspects, but it even, apparently because the building eats a couple of the psychics, it builds itself and expands itself.
Okay, so Mike.
Alright, mine is 1981's Excalibur.
That's not a horror movie.
I know it's not, but it feels like a horror movie.
That don't count.
That she has like a demonic child that is like an evil knight that kills Patrick Stewart.
That's not like a horror movie.
Yeah. All right, it's got that.
But
horror
that still doesn't count.
No, it's got the horror movie
Feels like a
feel, like that
cop-out moment
bird
right now.
scene where she's like just gyrating, and there's just like a demonic guard that's there protecting her. That's a horror scene movie. I mean, the thing
Is the whole
It's a film with a scary scene in it. Or a film that does
the
not
whole
make.
thing feels like that, though. Honestly, you can chop it up to fantasy, but I do feel that there is a vein of horror in there, and I count it.
Okay, everybody. Now, this is where we're gonna do the lightning round.
Alright.
So everybody ready for this? What? Everybody like, Saul, is there anything you have?
Oh, here's one thing. Let's see. What's space? Let's see around video games to see if you can just add the original Artie, the original Resident Evil, into the PlayStation.
See, I only played the one with the remake.
It doesn't really matter if you play the remake or anything else like that. It still fits part of the horror scheme. And the thing is, I prefer to see the horrible English actors because it makes the game more. That's all I got really.
Okay, now I'm
Lightning
gonna.
round.
This is a lightning round, people, and we do 5 minutes. Everybody ready? Ready? Go. Okay, the Cabin of Dr. Caligari. It's a really good silent movie. It's really awesome. It's a pretty much a Frankenstein kind of dude. Okay, go, Nick.
I say Halloween 4 and 5. I always consider them the best of the series. That's definitely one you're going to want to check out. Those two.
Tales from the Dark Side. It's like Tales from the Crypt, except they go a little bit more crazy.
Yeah.
There's a lightning round, goddamn.
I got nothing on this one. Go!
Okay, I would say watch out the original Halloween. It's really good. It's one of my favorites. Go.
Agree.
I say Evil Dead 2. The first one's pretty good, but the second one's like a remake sequel, sort of. It's weird how the contrast. And, of course, Army of Darkness is more an action film, but Evil Dead's really solid hardcore horror with a little bit of action, and it's where Bruce Campbell really shines of the two films.
Okay, go.
Garth Marenghi's Dark Place, the writer of Breaking Bad, really likes it, and I like it too. You.
I would say the Caribbean sequel to Final Destination. Now, even though they say the creative, let's see how ways of actually killing all the characters, but it still has a certain sense of suspense.
Nosferatu. Pretty much, it's Dracula. It's what it is, Dracula. The silent film. It's really awesome, and pretty much the main character. I mean, the main pretty much Dracula. He looks really creepy. Okay, go, Nick.
I have to say Pet Sematary. It's one of my favorite films, and it had a, I think, adequate sequel. It's another Stephen King film.
Female director.
And it just hardcore from front to back.
As a Star Trek actress. Ugly Americans. It's a series about a guy who lives in a city where hell has come to earth. It's really good. It's animated. I like it.
Yeah. The Shining. Even though it's based on a Stephen King novel, it's actually happened on a based on a prior experience. Watch it. It's great.
Hack and Slash. It's a really good, awesome comic book series that pretty much have to deal with like these this one chick going around killing the serial killers. Go.
Poltergeist, the first and the second. Two of the best paired films of all time. And Poltergeist 2 is probably one of the very few films out there that is one of those better than the original sequels.
The Visitors, original TV miniseries, Alien Invasion. It's very slow. It's very interesting.
Resident Evil 4. Let's see. Even though it's revolutionary, of having to see over-the-shoulder camera, fighting all the Galanos, it actually mixes both. Let's see, action and horror all the same time with Neon S. Kennedy. Go.
Reanimator. It's it's an H.P. Lovecraft story, and it's pretty much more of a modern Frankenstein story with zombies. It's really awesome, and there's one part where like a headless dude eat as a girl. Nick, go.
Going on to video games, I gotta say one of my favorite old video games, Dino Crisis. It's essentially the same thing as Resident Evil, but it has dinosaurs. It's got the same. I think the puzzles are a lot more challenging too. So anyone that can find one of these ancient copies, go ahead, find it, play it. Oh, always worth the time.
The Invasion from 2007. It's basically Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but I like the new version. It's more modern. It makes more sense. I just like it.
Time of the Dead. Pretty much see you use keyboards that actually use as weapons to kill zombies. Go for it. Play it.
The original Dawn of the Dead. I love it. It's kind of a comic book story. It's kind of silly, but at the same time, it's really good. Go.
I have it. Shut the fuck up. The 80s version of The Blob. The 80s remake I always thought was really spooky and the most hardcore of all of the remakes, including the original.
Go.
Dark City. It's a guy. He doesn't know who he is. He lives on a spaceship that is in the past.
Go.
Friday the 13th. Pretty much just Jason Voorhees back in his classic ways of actually killing everybody.
I agree. Okay. Day of the Dead. I love it. It's a more darker version, and it's really, really good. And I actually kind of prefer between Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead. Go.
Fuck. Doing this again.
Yeah, 10 seconds.
Diary of the Dead, a great sequel to the Dawn of the Dead series, and that plays on the found footage style.
And that's all.
There you go.
There.
I fucked up in there, didn't I?
You've been fucking up. You're like the most slowest person to do this shit. God damn it.
You're pulling the shit out of my ass here.
You're gonna put that Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I don't
Classic.
I don't like the Texas Chainsaw.
You gotta say something.
You suck.
I had one. It just I couldn't remember what it was. It slipped out of my mind.
All right.
And yes, people, with that, sorry we got to do the lightning round, but yeah. But I think with that, you have enough to go by. At least I think you have enough to go by to watch, play, read, what have you.
Murder people too.
No, I guess murder people.
Nah. Yeah, if you want to risk it, go on ahead.
And with that, we say adieu to you, and have a good night with all your favorite Halloween classics. Wow. You can reach me at glchris24 at Twitter. You can also reach me at, if you want to send some questions, I have my email address is glchris21 at yahoo.com. And you know, there's the YouTubes. You can only find me there. Nick, where can I find you?
I don't want to be found. You don't need to talk to me. Leave a comment for me.
Mike, where can I find you?
I'm Chaos Angel 424 on Twitter, and I'm also Facebook. I'm Mick on Facebook if you want to find me.
All right. If you want to leave any questions to me, go through my email address. Either Saul Saul Jr. Jr. 561 at gmail.com, or if not, just leave a comment down below.
And now with that, my children of the night, with that we shall leave you. Until then, have a great Halloweenie! Scary-a-thon! Oh, oh, oh!